Hi and hello, Eagles fans, and welcome to this presentation of TCC Softball, Game 2 of this doubleheader between your Tallahassee Community College Eagles and the visiting Santa Fe Saints, who are up the road from Gainesville. Eagles took the opening game of this doubleheader by a score of 5-3, a nice comeback victory for them, no doubt. And here they are trying to complete the two-game sweep. Olivia Larkin is leading off and playing center as she did in the first game. And on the mound for TCC, Kaylin James. That one is fouled down the left side. Kaylin James was the DP for most of the game, and then came in to play first base when Brittany Michael went from first to play pitcher. She closed things out, shutting the door on that 5-3 victory. Now the 1-2 swung on and fouled back towards the screen, so we'll do it again. Now the 1-2, and that one is taken outside for ball 2. So the count level now for Larkin. It'll be Larkin, Woodard, and Geibig here to start this game off for the Saints. Now the 2-2, and runs in and hits her. So different pitcher on for the Eagles, but TCC did have 3 hit by pitches in the first inning of last game, starting this game off with a hit by pitch to the leadoff hitter, Olivia Larkin, and that'll bring up Ayana Woodard, who's playing shortstop in this one. Lefty hitter here, or righty hitter, excuse me, righty pitcher in Kaylin James. Now the 1-0. Bunt laid back, first baseman came in. Runner stays where she is. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Here to Ayana Woodard. Woodard showing bunt with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, pulls back, takes one outside. Larkin scampers back into first base. And now, actually going to ring her up on that one. So down goes Woodard. And that'll bring up Story Geibig. Geibig playing third base here today. This one from James. Inside, throw down to second base. The tag could not be applied because it was in and out of the glove of the shortstop. J.J. Ortiz there was not able to put the tag down, so Larkin steals second base. Two balls, no strikes is the count here to Geibig. The 2-0 from James, taken high, 3 balls, no strikes. Now the count. Trying to avoid the walk on 3-0. And does there with the strike taken by Geibig. Swung on and fouled back on the left side, so the count now full at 3-2. Lights come on here at the softball field as the sun is starting to go down. Game getting underway at about 5:50. The 3-2. That one is put into play and right in front of the right fielder who can't make the catch. Runner's going to go to third, so it's runners at the corners with one out to start the game for the Saints. Base hit there for Geibig. Geibig couldn't get a great read on it, as it looked like the right fielder, Aponte, was going to be able to make a play, but she could not. So it'll be runners at the corners now for Keely Zingard. First pitch from James. Taken low. Nice block there by the catcher, Michael. Now the 1-0. Swung on, fouled down the right side near the Saints dugout. Now the 1-1. Looping breaking ball taken high. Now Zingard goes to 2-1. Larkin running at third. Geibig at first. The 2-1 off the plate. Michael not able to frame it. So it'll go to 3 balls and a strike. Kaylin James looking to avoid issuing her first walk of the game, but she lets that one go to ball 4, and that will load the bases with only 1 out. Geibig moves over to second, and the bases loaded and only 1 out. It'll be the DP, Madison Dixon. All right-handed bat so far for the Saints. First pitch to Dixon. Called strike over the plate. Had the same situation in game 1 in the top of the 6th. And Brittany Michael was able to strike out 2 Saints in a row to get out of it scoreless. That one a little bit inside. Dixon presenting bunt, then pulls back. The 1-1 is inside. Nice block by Michael. Now we go to 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. That one is just a hair high. And so now James is 1 ball away from a bases loaded walk. I have to give Dixon something to hit here. 2 runners in scoring position, the 3-1. Swung on and missed by Dixon, and now you've got the count full. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Dixon is out on strikes. Had a 3-1 count with the bases loaded. James gets her to fan, and now with 2 outs, that'll bring up the right fielder, Abriana Hickox. A beautiful strikeout there by Kaylin James. Trying to keep this game scoreless in the top of the 1st. 1 more out left to get. Another righty bat in Hickox. First pitch to her is off the plate, taken for ball 1. Strike one there. This one from James, bit inside. It's not the ball to strike ratio that you're necessarily looking for from Kaylin James. Got the bases loaded with 2 outs, a chance to get out of it scoreless. But the hitter she's facing in Hickox has a hitter's count. That one over the plate, called strike 2, and now the Eagles 1 strike away from getting out of it. Here's the 2-2, and it's going to hit her, and that will bring in a run. So trying to get a punch out of Hickox, and it runs a bit inside to her. She heads down to first. That'll force in Larkin from third. Bases remain loaded now, a 1-0 game. Second hit by pitch in the inning. So that's been a problem in the first inning these last couple games. Obviously, first couple games of the season, each pitcher getting their first turn at things in this 2022 calendar year. So, some getting eased into things potentially required. Here's a pitch to Arsenault, called for a strike. The 0-1, swung on and missed, strike 2. So, called strike and a nice swing and miss gotten on the outside part. 1 strike away once again. And another swing and miss. No, fouled off, says the home plate umpire, so we'll do it again. Just got a hair of that bat on Brianna Arsenault. So barely staying alive there. Now here's another 0-2. Runs inside to her now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one from James. Fouled again. This one rolling down the third base line. Got about halfway there. And Arsenault will have to run back to home plate. Another 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 there on Brianna Arsenault. So a couple of strikeouts gotten by Kaylin James in the first inning. Had the bases loaded with only 1 out, and they get 1 run for it. So Eagles come up to the plate for the first time in this game when we return. Welcoming you back to the softball complex here at TCC. William Haynes bringing you the action here. First pitch to Mackenzie Childs is called for strike one. The right-handed Sophie Abrams getting the nod for the Saints in game two. In the first inning for the Eagles, it'll be Childs, Aponte, and Brittany Michael. That one called the strike as well. And Childs has just watched herself dip into an 0-2 hole. The 0-2 from Abrams. Nice take on the outside. Now the 1-2. Fouled. Just past the third baseman, Geiberg. And we'll keep it at 1-2. Another 1-2. And that one is going to stay fair to the third baseman, Geiberg, whose throw to first is in time to retire Childs. So it goes 5-3 on the opening put out of the second game for the Eagles. Childs heads back. Are they going to call that a foul ball? I guess they did. I have to admit I'm a little confused. I believe I saw it stay true down the third base line. Saw into the glove by Story Geiberg, but apparently Childs stays alive as she puts a charge in the left, and that one is going to get past the left fielder. Into second base goes Childs with new life with a standing up leadoff double. Riley Schneider in left, not able to get out there quickly enough. A well-hit ball by Childs, no doubt. And now the Eagles get the tying run and scoring position for Anishka Aponte. That one put up in the air. Shortstop chasing it. She'll make the catch for out number one. That was Woodard to retire Aponte. And now with one out, that'll bring up Brittany Michael. First pitch to Michael. In there for a strike. Now the 0-1. Breaking ball hit well into shallow right center, and it's going to get down in front of Hickox for a base hit. They're going to wave the runner around, and she'll come in standing up. So a one-out RBI single by Brittany Michael, and we're tied at 1. Good piece of hitting there by Brittany Michael. Looping breaking ball over the heart of the plate. And she knew what to do with it. Scores Childs from second base. And now with one on and one out, the third baseman Raven Little comes to the plate. First pitch to her is a little bit low for ball one. Now the 1-0. And that one is high, and it's going to get away from the catcher. A runner heads down to second base. There will be no throw. So a wild pitch from Sophie Abrams allows Michael to get back, or get over to second base, rather. Now the Eagles with another runner in scoring position. Got away from Arsenault there. And it'll be a 2-0 count upcoming to Little. Here's the pitch. Called strike one. Abrams checking the signs on her wristband. Now gets set for a 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Another called strike over the plate. Count even at 2-2. That one is put into right, and it's going to get past the right fielder and roll all the way down towards the wall. Throw goes into second base. Not in time. I think the throw might have gotten in time, but the tag not able to be placed down. So Raven Little heads into second base, standing up on an RBI double for Raven Little. Scores Brittany Michael from second. And so the Eagles keep the line moving. Staying with another runner in scoring position. Eagles lead 2-1 in the bottom of the first. Cheche Ortiz, the shortstop, now at the plate. Another righty bat. All righty so far in this game. Nice breaking ball just tossed over the plate. Ortiz didn't quite know what to do with that one, so she takes it for strike one. Now the 0-1. Put on the ground at third base. She's going to go to first to retire her. Now throw into third is not in time. So the third baseman, Geibig, was looking to run her over at second. Seemed like Little was going to stay put, so she goes to first to retire Ortiz, and that out was completed. And then the first baseman, Zingard, went back over to third because Little was heading over there, but the throw was not in time. So not an unproductive out as Ortiz moves the runner over on the 5-3 putout. And with 2 outs and a runner at third, that'll bring up the catcher, Brooke Michael. First pitch to her, a little bit high. Now the 1-0. Tossed in there again. Two balls, no strikes, the count on Michael. So the last couple of bats, a little bit of some soft tossing for Sophie Abrams. Trying to change things up as the Eagles have been clobbering her fastball. Now here's the 2-0. And that one's in there for strike one. The 2-1 offering from Abrams, and that one is put in the air. It's high and foul. That one had home run height on it, maybe a little bit short on the distance, and it flared just foul of the right field line. Sophie Abrams now 1 strike away from getting out of this first inning. Here's the 2-2 to Michael. And that one, nice take there with 2 strikes to bring the count full. So if Michael is to reach and keep the inning going, it would be the DP, Kaylin James, who is the Eagles starting pitcher in game 2. But first, the payoff to Michael. Here it is. Low for ball 4. And so that walk will put runners at the corners with 2 outs for the DP James. First walk issued of the day for Abrams. That first pitch is high. Breaking ball that didn't quite have enough break on it. James looking to add on to what is already a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first. Here's the pitch from Abrams. Two nothing now the count. Middle of the infield is wide open. If you can get a ball out there. Another one taken high. And now she's got herself in a 3-0 count. So she's not going to give you anything to hit. No point in swinging at it. And a walk here would load the bases. Abrams desperately needs a strike. And James, who is taken all the way on 3-0, allows Sophie Abrams to pump a fastball right down Main Street. Still some work left to be done. 3-1 pitch. And that one is put high in the air to left, and it's just going to go foul. That one definitely had the home run height and the distance, but tailed off at the end down the left field line and out of play. So that brings this count full after that foul ball. And James had Abrams timed up all the way. Here's another payoff pitch in this inning. And that one is low for ball 4, and that will load the bases. Back-to-back walks issued by Abrams. And with 2 outs and some ducks on the pond, it'll be Allison Rodriguez. Raven Little moves to third. Michael heads on to second. And the first pitch to Rodriguez. Taken over the plate for a strike. Little at third, Michael at second, James running at first. This one to Rodriguez. Called a strike on the inside part. And Rodriguez, who's taken a couple pitches, quickly has found herself down 0-2. Abrams looking for the put away. And that one's in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher. A run is going to come across to score. And the Eagles add on to their lead after another wild pitch in this inning for Sophie Abrams. Raven Little comes home. And both the runners advance. Michael goes down to third. James to second. One ball, 2 strikes, the count to Rodriguez after that pitch in the dirt. Allowed a run to score. That one is fouled away down the right line, so we'll do it again at 1-2. That one taken high. A picturesque scene here as the sun is going down. Golden skies. We thank you for joining us for Game 2 of this opening day doubleheader. The 2-2 pitch to Rodriguez, and that one is low. Had some technical difficulties for the first 4 or 5 innings of the first game, but got things figured out in time to show you that comeback for the first win of the year. And we've got you here on TCCEagles.com and YouTube for all 7 innings of the second game. Here's a payoff to Rodriguez, and swings and misses at a high pitch there. So the Eagles leave a little meat on the bone, but get 3 runs in the bottom of the first to take a commanding lead early in this one. Top of the second here. Eagles with an early 3-1 lead. First pitch to Saavedra. Saavedra today playing over at second base. That one is high and gets past the catcher, Brooke Michael. But with no runners on, no harm done. Kalen James, who walked in that first inning, back on the mound here to pitch the 2-0. Called for a strike. I think it's coming over across on the video okay, but really can't say enough about the sights here. Decent crowd here for game 2. The sun going further down. Golden skies. I believe about 55 degrees or so at first pitch, so in Tallahassee we're still waiting for things to heat up a little bit, but really getting into the perfect timing for baseball and softball season. Here's the 3-1, and that's put up looping, and a diving play made by the second baseman. What a diving stop there made by Allison Rodriguez. Struck out to end the inning, leaving runners at second and third, but starts the next inning off on defense with a superb play. Now the first pitch to Riley Schneider. Strike one cold. She was looking to lay a bunt down. The lone left-handed hitter for the Saints in the second game. Final hitter in this order. After she has finished her at-bat, we'll turn back over to Larkin. The 0-1. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a score update, if you're curious, I believe we're into the 7th or the 8th now on the baseball side. It's 5-2. The Eagles baseball team trails Alec Baldwin Agricultural. Eagles are 5-0 on the diamond to start the year, looking to avoid their first defeat, but things aren't looking fantastic. Next broadcast from us will be on the baseball side of things tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock against Central Florida College. Look forward to bringing you that one. I'll be on the call as well. 2-1 now. That one's fouled forcefully out of play behind the left side. Members of the TCC dugout with those big overcoats on. One of them came out to throw a couple new balls to the home plate umpire. Here's the 2-2 from James. Outside. Now we've got a full count. Eagles looking to avoid putting any runners on base before the lineup turns back over. Here's the payoff pitch to Schneider. Put on the ground. Passes the third baseman. The shortstop gets it, and her throw to first is no good. I mean, it was somewhat on target, but couldn't be picked out, so that will allow Schneider to reach. I'll probably end up putting that one down in my book as an infield single. That's a tough official decision to make. Riley Schneider, rather, the left fielder, one of the speedier members of this Santa Fe team, so racing up the line, that was going to be tough to beat her with the throw. Now the leadoff hitter, Larkig, and that throw to first is in time. So a nice scoop by Raven Little, and a good throw over to Brittany Michael to complete the putout. Riley Schneider advances to second on the play. So a few balls put in the infield here. Big cut and a miss by Ayana Woodard to start off this at-bat. Runner at second with 2 outs. Eagles lead 3-1 here, top of the second. Kaylin James looking to protect the lead. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled back. Here's the 0-2 to Woodard. Low, couldn't be blocked in the dirt by the catcher, and that will allow the runner to advance to third. So on the wild pitch there from James, put Schneider 90 feet away. And brings the count to 1-2 for Woodard. This one from James. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So the Saints got a runner at third base, but can't bring her home as we head to the bottom of the second. You're watching TCC Softball on tcceagles.com and YouTube.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
And we welcome you back. Bottom of the second here at the softball facility. Our broadcast engineer, Jack Oliaro, moving the scorebook over to the other side so you can get a peek at that beautiful sunset here. We're bringing you the action from the west side of Tallahassee. Opening day doubleheader for the softball squad. Baseball is in action just to my right against Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. They're still trailing 5-2, trying to keep their undefeated streak alive to open the season. But appears to be in some trouble. Emma Patry, the left fielder, is in a quick 0-2 hole. Sophie Abrams is back out after allowing 3 runs in that first inning. That one is slapped on the ground right to the first baseman, who takes a couple steps over to the bag to retire her. That was Keely Zingard unassisted on the putout. With 1 out and the bases empty, we turn back over the lineup to the top. Be Mackenzie Childs. Aponte will follow. First pitch to Childs. Over but low for ball 1. Same spot, 2-0. That one called a strike on the outside part of the plate. All this talk about Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, who's playing the baseball team here today. They will be here next Tuesday for a doubleheader against the softball team, so we'll see them. Plenty of chances to say that mouthful name of a college. Certainly we got a break here on opening day with Santa Fe. Here's a 2-1, and that one is low. She's going to head to first. Missed the count. That was actually a 3-1 count. So Childs walks. And that'll bring up Anishka Aponte. First pitch to Aponte. Called a strike over the plate. There's already 3 walks issued by Abrams, just 1 out into the second inning. Got a lot of action over the plate, but either low or high. The 0-1 pitch runs up and in. Levels the count at a ball and a strike. Now the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Nice sweeping action on that pitch from Abrams. That'll bring it to 1-2 against Aponte. Shows bunt, then pulls back, puts it into play, picked up by the second baseman. She's going to go to the shortstop at the second base for out number 1 and can't turn the double play in time. So a fielder's choice for Aponte goes 4-6 on the putout on Childs. Now with 2 outs and Aponte standing at first, that'll bring up Brittany Michael, who singled, driving in a run in the first. First pitch to her is over but low for ball one. The 1-0. High and outside. Runner thought about going. Snap throw to first, and she's in safely. So Aneshka Ponte nearly got caught over there in no man's land. Was running on the pitch. Was taken high and outside. And a quick snap throw from the catcher, Arsenal, nearly beat a Ponte into first base. 2-0 the count here to Brittany Michael. And the pitch. Runner goes again. The throw to second base is in time for out number 3. So, Aponte, who stays alive at first. The next pitch gets thrown out at second. Eagles got a couple of runners on, but can't do anything with it. Your score, 3-1 after 2. Welcome you back to the softball complex. Top of the third. The pitcher, Kaylin James, back out, protecting a 3-1 lead. She'll face Guyberg, the third baseman, to start things off. First pitch to her is in for a strike. Big cut and a miss under the fastball there. Now quickly Guyberg's in an 0-2 hole. James looking for the put away. Here it is. And swing and a miss. Beautiful cutting action on that fastball, high and away to Guyberg. Got her to chase. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Strikeout to open the inning for James. Brings up the first baseman, Keely Zingard. First one to her is in for a strike. Now the 0-1. Caught the plate as well. And James opening up both batters of this third inning with 0-2 counts. Hunting strikes. You like to see it. Now another 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 again. So some big cut and miss action from Kaylin James pitching there. And 2 quick strikeouts to open the inning. 2 outs. Base is clear for Madison Dixon. Kaylin James is in the zone here. First pitch is put on the ground and fair down the left field line. Going to roll all the way to the wall. So I think I jinxed it a little bit there. Emma Patry is throwing to second is cut off. And so that'll be a 2-out double for Madison Dixon. First extra base hit of the game for the Saints. I believe they only had one double in game one. So that brings the tying run to the plate here in Abriana Hickox. What a chance to drive in a runner from second base. James goes through the sign, steps off. Now time called by Hickox. She steps back in and will resume play. First pitch of this at-bat. Bit high for ball one. Now the 1-0 from James. High as well, ball two. The 2-0 offering here. Put on the ground, right to the pitcher, Kaylin James. Her throw to first is in time, and that will retire the side. So a couple of strikeouts very nicely to open the inning. Then a 2-out double for Dixon, but the Saints leave him there. Heading to the bottom of the third, you're watching Eagles Softball on TCCEagles.com and YouTube. Bottom of the third here, Eagles lead 3-1. With a chance to add on against the starter Sophie Abrams, it will be Michael, Little, and J.J. Ortiz. Brittany Michael, the first baseman, get things started from the right side. First pitch to her is taken over but low for ball one. Michael with an RBI single in the first inning. Now the 1-0 to her. That one is a fastball taken down the heart for strike one. Fouled back on down the right side. Strike two. Sun is completely down now, just relying on the lights surrounding the field. The 1-2 upcoming to Michael. And that one is a breaking ball that didn't quite break. Went high and got past the catcher Arsenault. Count levels at 2-2. Now this one to Michael. That one slapped, picked up by the second baseman, Saavedra. Her throw to first is in time for out number one. Saavedra to Zingard on the 4-3 putout to open the inning. And that'll make way for the third baseman, Raven Little, who blasted an RBI double in her first time. Looks like bottom of the eighth, 5-2, as I'm giving you an impromptu score update for the baseball team against the visiting Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. Softball will see them next Tuesday. That one inside to Raven Little to start the at-bat off 1-0. 2-0, pardon me. Now the pitch from Abrams is swung on and fouled back to the catcher. 2-1 now. This one is slapped foul down the third base line. Nice piece of hitting by Raven Little there, but couldn't keep it fair. 2 balls and 2 strikes now moves the count. After Little, it'll be Ortiz to bat. Breaking ball misses high. That'll bring the count full. The 3-2 to Little. Misses outside, ball 4. And that's a 1-out walk for Raven Little. Now brings up the shortstop, Cheche Ortiz. Grounded to third in her first time. First pitch to Ortiz. Swung on, fouled back. Now the 1-0. And that one's blasted into center. Chased down by Larkin. She can't get there. It rolls all the way down to the wall. Little coming around third. She's going to stay put there. Throw comes into the catcher, Arsenault. So a long single by Cheche Ortiz puts runners at the corners with 1 out for the catcher, Brooke Michael. Michael worked a walk in her first plate appearance. First pitch to her is way high and inside. Now the 1-0. Misses high again. Runner goes. I don't even think the catcher saw it. She threw it back to the catcher, Abrams. Meanwhile, Cheche Ortiz was heading on down to second base. And a stolen bag for her puts another runner in scoring position. So you got runners at second and third. A 2-0 count to the hitter at the plate, and Michael, prime position to tack on this early 3-1 lead. This offering from James misses high, 3-0. A walk would load the bases. 3-0 pitch is low, and it will walk. The walk will load the bases, rather. Pitch got away from Brianna Arsenault, but not enough that the runner from third, Little, could come in. So bases loaded for the second time in this game. And it'll be for the pitcher today, Kaylin James. She walked her first time. No room for error now if you're Sophie Abrams. Got a strikeout of Allison Rodriguez to leave them loaded in the first. She's going to need two of them to do that here. First pitch to the DP, James. Swung on and missed. Big cut there. I believe she might have been the one that almost put the home run out there and left. Big swing hitter. The 0-1 from Abrams. Another big cut and a miss, strike two. You can tell James came into this at bat making it look pretty hard contact. But she's down 0-2. This one from Abrams is high. Having trouble getting those high pitches to break, I think, the way they're supposed to. Most of the time they end up being easy takes for these Eagle hitters. Now a 1-2. Outside. Count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sophie Abrams coming to the realization she's going to have to give Kaylin James something to hit to get herself out of this inning. Here's the 2-2. High. A full count. A walk would bring in a run. But you know James has more than that on her mind. Here's the payoff pitch. Low ball 4, and that'll walk in a run. So an RBI there for Kaylin James after starting off the at-bat 0-2. Some nice takes. And that passes the baton off to Allison Rodriguez, who struck out when she had the bases loaded her last time. So a chance for some redemption there. Eagles now take a 4-1 lead on an RBI bases loaded walk for Kaylin James. Forces in Little from third. Moves Ortiz over to second, or Ortiz over to third, and Michael over to second base. First pitch to Rodriguez is called for strike 1. Infield creeping in. Here's the 0-1. High. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's low, blocked by Arsenault. 2 balls and a strike goes the count. The 2-1 from Abrams popped up, back out of play behind the press box, and that'll level the count at 2-2. Two. Taken inside, and now another full count. Abrams had a pretty calm inning in the second, but those two have been sandwiched by really long innings where Eagles have been able to work really lengthy at-bats. Here's another payoff pitch and another foul back behind the press box. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Bases loaded, 1 out. Full count to Rodriguez. Puts one on the ground. It gets past the third baseman. Rolls all the way to the left fielder. The throw in to third. Not in time. So a little bit of a seeing eye single. Drives in a run for Rodriguez. Keeps the bases loaded with only 1 out. And it'll bring up the 9-hitter, Emma Patry. Brings in Ortiz from third. Moves Michael over to third base now. And now Kalen James on to second. Couple of Saints coaches come out to talk things over with Sophie Abrams. Can't tell if anyone's warming up in that bullpen. It does not look like it. But things are getting away from the Saints here in the second game. 5-1. Now the advantage for the Eagles, and the bases are still loaded with only 1 out, so a chance to tack things on even more. Abrams is going to stay on, I believe. Now the Saints coach, and they are going to make a pitching change. So it'll be Kaylee Arroyo, who pitched in the first game. As she gets her warm-up tosses in, we'll step aside. Kaylee Arroyo on for the Saints. Comes in bases loaded, 1 out. To the 9-hitter, Emma Patry. Arroyo pitched the final inning of Game 1. Quick 1-2-3 inning for her there. Now the 1-0 to Patry. High and outside, ball 2. Never an easy situation to come into when you're a pitcher. I know she pitched in Game 1, so you could say, you know, she's kind of warmed up all ready to go, but literally no room for error with the bases loaded up. The 2-0. High and outside again. And now the Saints find themselves one pitch away from walking in another run. For now, Kalen James line 2 1/3, 5 hits, 6 walks, and only 1 strikeout. The earned runs not finalized because Santa Fe is still going to have to get out of this inning first. Patry was taken all the way on 3-0, and a nice breaking ball dropped in the zone there by Arroyo. Now the 3-1. That one's put into play. It's going to stay fair. It does not. Just foul of the left fielder, Riley Schneider. Only 1 out, so runner's not necessarily running on contact. Probably would have scored 1 and kept the line moving, as they've done a couple of times in this inning. But instead, it's another full count, which we've seen a slew of here in this inning. A payoff to Patry, high and outside, and Santa Fe has walked in another run. An RBI bases loaded walk for Emma Patry. And that keeps the line moving for the 8th batter to appear in this inning as the lineup turns back over to the top, and Mackenzie Childs, 1 for 1 with a double, also has a walk, so she's reached base twice already. Your score now 6-1. First pitch to her is high for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch here to Childs upcoming. That one high and dropped by the catcher Arsenal. That walk forced in Brooke Michael from third. Moves Kalen James over there. Now Rodriguez over to second base. That one is through and in for a base hit. Rolls all the way to the wall. It's scored 2. They're going to wave another runner around. No, they keep him there. So a 2 RBI double by Mackenzie Childs makes this game 8-1. Missed the hit off the bat at first. I look up, and I see the center fielder, Olivia Larkin, chasing that softball out to the wall. So 2 doubles and 3 plate appearances for Mackenzie Childs, as the leadoff hitter is having herself some type of game. Scores James from third, and Allison Rodriguez from second. Moves Patry all the way from first over to third. They thought about waving her home, but decided to hold her up at the last second. Now Anisha Ponte comes to the plate with second and third, and still only 1 out. So a chance to add on to this lead even more. To my right, scoreboard for baseball has been turned off, so I imagine that game is over. It was 5-2. I believe that's going to be the final, so they dropped their first game of the season. That one put on the ground right to the pitcher. It gets past her, now to the shortstop. Her throw to first is in time. Unproductive outs. Runners stay where they are. I believe that was Woodard going over to Zingard on the 6-3 putout. And now, for the first time in this 2022 season, the TCC Eagles have batted around. Brittany Michael will be taking her second at-bat of the inning. Grounded out to second base to start things off. And here she is again in this third inning. First pitch to her. In there for strike 1. The 0-1. Outside. With 2 outs. Runners going on contact. Childs had taken a really large lead off at second base. No one's there to hold her on. Now the 1-1 pitch outside again. Now the 2-1 from Arroyo. And that one is going to be past her glove, and it's going to roll all the way into center field. One run comes across the score. Now another. And for the first time this season, the Eagles have scored 10 runs in a game. It's now 10-1. A 2 RBI single for Brittany Michael, who bats for the second time in the inning. As this will now be the 11th batter to appear in this inning. Pitch high for ball one. Scores Patry from third, and Mackenzie Childs, who they sent around third and into home plate for the 10th run. The 1-0 here, outside. Raven Little walked in her first at-bat of this inning. Also had an RBI double in the first. But at this point, just about everyone in this lineup is having themselves a pretty nice day through 2 or 3 at-bats. Here's the 2-0. That one in there for strike one. You see the logic in making Arroyo work into you there. So there's not been a whole lot of strikes thrown by either of these Santa Fe pitchers in this second game. Here's the 2-1. Over but low. And now 3 balls a strike. They count to the third baseman, Little. This one from Arroyo. That one's put high in the air, chased by the right fielder Hickok, and it's going to go past her and nearly a couple feet away from being a home run. She's into second base. They're going to wave the runner home, and there's not going to be any throw. An RBI double by Little, and that makes it an 11-1 game. As I said, you saw it on the video as well. We were close to that first home run. Couldn't quite get there, but an excellent extra base hit. Raven Little, in that regard, 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and a walk. Scores Michael. She goes from first all the way to home on that double. That first pitch here to Chichi Ortiz. And the catcher, Brianna Arsenal, is going to come out to have a talk with Kaylee Arroyo. The 1-0, taken high. And there's the 6th hit of the inning for Chichi Ortiz. Sneaks past the first baseman, Keely Zingard, and that puts runners at the corners with 2 outs. Little moves from second over to third. 9th hit of the game by my count for the Eagles. Brooke Michael will be the 13th batter to come in this inning. And the Santa Fe Saints are going to have no choice but to make another pitching change. We'll tell you about the new Saints pitcher when we return. Another pitching change in this inning for the Saints. It'll be Kalen Hayes into this game. Hard-throwing right-hander. So I believe by my count, Kalen James, the starter, went 2 1/3. I believe 8 earned runs on 5 hits, 6 walks, 1 strikeout. And Kaylee Arroyo only recording 1/3 of an inning, allowing 4 hits. And her line cannot be finalized because she's got a couple of runners at the corners. That one put on the ground to the third baseman. They try to flag the tag there. They say yes. So no throw over to first necessary. So a huge, gigantic inning for the Eagles. They get all kinds of action going. I believe 5 or 6 hits in the inning. They put up 8 runs. As we head to the top of the fourth, 11-1 lead. You're watching TCC Softball on tcceagles.com. And we welcome you back. Top of the fourth. Fouled back by Brianna Arsenault. It'll be Arsenault, Saavedra, and Schneider here. The 7, 8, 9 hitters in this fourth inning. There is a 10-run mercy rule in college softball, but you must complete 5 innings first. So if this score holds for another couple of innings, we'll be able to get you on out of here early. That one is ripped foul down the right line. Now 0-2. I apologize. When I was reading off the lines for the pitchers for Santa Fe, I read off Kalen James as a starter, but no, that's the starter for the Eagles. Sophie Abrams was a starter for the Saints, and she went 2 1/3, 8 runs on 5 hits, 6 walks, and 1 strikeout. And Kaylee Arroyo, the reliever who came in to replace her day is done, recorded just 1/3 of an inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, walked 1, and no strikeouts. Kalen Hayes came out to record the third and final out of that third inning where the Eagles put up a total of 8 runs on 6 hits. A strikeout of Arsenault there. A nice start to the inning for the Eagles starter, Kalen James. It's well known in the business. There's no such thing as a perfect broadcast. Today certainly has been no exception, but we appreciate you sticking with us through the technical difficulties of Game 1. Beautiful day for softball here on opening day. Eagles looking to jump out to 2-0 on the first day of the season. They're certainly primed in great position for that, currently holding an 11-1 lead. Here's an 0-1. Swung on and missed. And all that time sitting in the dugout for Kalen James certainly has not fazed her. She's come out and gotten a ton of swing and miss to start this fourth inning. A strikeout of Arsenault, now an 0-2 to Saavedra. Here it is. And that one's put in the air. Chased by the center fielder, Child. She's under it for out number 2. So it looked better off the bat than it was. It kind of died out there in shallow left center. And Childs was able to run it down. And with 2 outs and the base is empty, that'll bring up Riley Schneider, the lone lefty bat in this lineup for the Saints. First pitch to her is fouled back on the left side. That one put on the ground. Second baseman's got it. Her short flip to first is good. So quick 1-2-3 inning to retire the side. It went Rodriguez to Michael on the quick put out. So inning and a half left if this score holds from an early conclusion. You're watching TCC Softball on tcceagles.com and YouTube. Kaylin Hayes is back out for Santa Fe. She'll be tasked here in the bottom of the bottom of the 4th, getting the 7, 8, 9 hitters. I had to write in those final 4 hitters that had batted around in the 4th inning slot. Obviously running out of room in my scorebook. It's a good problem to have, though. There's been no shortage of offense here for the Eagles. It'll be Kaylin James, Allison Rodriguez, and Emma Patry. That one fouled right back directly towards us. Stopped by the netting. 1-1. The 1-1 offering from Hayes. That one's put high in the air. Larkin running it down, and she can't get there in time. It falls right really in front of the left fielder, Schneider, for a leadoff single. So the offensive parade continues. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Allison Rodriguez. Had an RBI single in the last inning. The 1-0 to her. And that one is put up in the air. Falls down in shallow left for a base hit. Eagles go station to station. First and second, nobody out. Thirteenth hit in this second game for TCC. I'm not sure what the school record is, but we may be approaching that point. If things continue in the direction they've been. Patry, the left fielder, stands in now against Hayes. She's 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch to her. High, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. And that one almost hit her. She had to duck underneath it. Rolls back to the screen. A smile on the face of pitcher Kaylin Hayes. She pats her chest as if to say, my bad. Certainly was not intentional. And I'm being told that it hit the bat. So it is going to be a strike. So that is what the smiles are for. That's not something you see every day. Obviously, when you're trying to duck out of the way of a big softball heading for your head, you don't really care where the bat's at. Big cut and a miss there. That'll take it to 2-2. Patry showing bunt, then pulls back, takes one outside, and now the count goes full. Payoff pitch upcoming to Patry. Here it is. And that one is going to be down for a base hit. Falls in front of the center fielder, Larkin. They're going to hold the runner at third. And stop me if you've heard this before. The Eagles have loaded the bases. Back-to-back-to-back singles to open this fourth. Seems like no matter who the Saints go to, can't find anyone that consistently miss a lot of bats. As this second game just isn't going their way. Lineup turns back over to the top. Mackenzie Childs, who's 2 for 2 with a couple doubles and a walk, has a chance to pour on to this lead even more. First pitch to Childs, over but low. Now the 1-0. Popped high into the air. Second baseman Saavedra's under it. Dan she have it? Yes, she sees it into the glove. So an unproductive out there. Infield fly. Bases remain loaded now with one out for Anishka Aponte. Aponte today 0 for 3. By my mark, one of only 2 Eagles hitters who are still looking for their first hit of the day. First pitch to Aponte, and that one's hit high in the air to left. And right fair of the foul line, caught by Schneider, throws it back in. So another unproductive out there. And now with 2 outs, be Brittany Michael, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. She's also got 3 runs batted in on the day. Members of the TCC baseball squad checking in. So good to see some school spirit all around. We had some members of the basketball team here for the first game. First pitch to Michael, called for a strike. And that one lined, but right to the third baseman, Story Geibig. So the Eagles open the inning with 3 straight singles, but then are retired in order after that, so they cannot add on to their 11-1 lead. Top of the 5th we go. You're watching Eagles Baseball on tcceagles.com.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
And we're back, potentially for the final 3 outs of this game. You'll kind of find out along with us as we're figuring things out here on opening day. We believe the 10-run mercy rules for 5 innings, but with the Eagles being the home team, there would be no point for them to bat in the bottom of the 5th. So top of the 5th here. Caitlin James back on. Certainly an easy way to pick up your first complete game of the season. Could potentially do it in 5 innings. Here's the pitch. Taken for a ball. Lineup turns over to the top with Olivia Larkin, Woodard, and Geibig to follow. Now this one to Larkin. Outside, no, called a strike, says the home plate umpire. He's potentially maybe looking to speed this game along. Temperature down under 50 degrees here in Tallahassee. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Larkin. Here's the pitch. Swung on and laid on the ground, but foul. Heard about a bit of glare on the broadcast. We apologize for that as the year moves on and the weather warming up a little bit. Open up the window in front to alleviate that. Here's the 1-2. High and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, now the count. Here's the 2-2 to Larkin. Stepped into it high up in the air. Shallow fly caught by Raven Little for the first out of this inning. Now that'll bring up Ayana Woodard. Big cut and a miss there for strike one. That one well outside. 2-1 now. Goes the count. This one to Woodard. Swung on and missed. Strike two. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. And now the Eagles potentially 1 out away from closing this game out. As I said, we'll wait and see. But nice to see Kaylin James basically get stronger as the game goes on. She's now retired the last 6 Santa Fe Saints in a row. Here's the first pitch to Geibig. Low for ball one. Now the 1-0 from James. Low again, ball two. The 2-0. Nasty pitch, and they're going to call it a strike. Started inside, but worked its way over the plate. 2 balls and a strike now, the count to Geibig. She's 1 for 2 with a single in the first inning. Now the 2-1 from James. That pitch low again, and it goes 3-1. The 3-1 offering. Called strike two. Might have been a little off the plate, but a generous call by the home plate umpire. And if I'm not mistaken, the Saints may be down to their final strike. The payoff from James. High in the air. The shortstop Ortiz chasing it out, and it's into her glove. She heads back to the dugout. Some of the team comes out to greet her, as they're going to head out into left field. And yes, this game is over. So a 5-inning mercy rule, it looks like, for now. 11-1 is your score after 4.5. Game has gone final. A complete game for Kaylin James as she pitched awesome. The offense was awesome as well. 11 runs on 12 hits by my book. So an opening day doubleheader sweep of the Santa Fe Saints. They win the first game by a score of 5-3, having to come back in this one. Not too much of that. It was the visitors jumping out to a 1-0 lead in the top of the inning. But then the Eagles put up 3 in the bottom of the first and never looked back. It was a huge 8-run spot put up in the third. They got us to the 11-1 score that we finish at. Again, a 5-inning, 10-run mercy roll, to put a cap on this one. So as we sign out this broadcast, we want to let you know that the next Eagles broadcast will be tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon, when the baseball team will be on the diamond against their opponent. It will be the visiting College of Central Florida. So we hope that you'll join us then. I've been William Haynes. Broadcast engineer Jack Oliaro as we sign off. Good night, Tallahassee.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community